This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. Hey guys, Big Paul here today, and I am going to talk about all this bullshit with Liver King. I really despise talking about this dude, but I've had so many people reach out to me, ask me my thoughts on it. I don't know. He's a douche nozzle. I don't like the guy. I don't know why anybody believes anything this dude has said to begin with. He's just everything that I hate about the fitness industry, to be quite honest with you. But I'm going to dig into some stuff today. I think some stuff that maybe Derek missed on his review of Liver King's cycle and diet. I'm going to dig into a few things from a bodybuilder perspective. I'm going to talk about why this guy wasn't making progress. He seemed to be frustrated with his IGF-1 levels from what I saw in the More Plates, More Dates video, and he thought he would be getting more out of what he's doing. I'm going to talk about why it wasn't working and how dumb his cycle was and how dumb his diet is, and why he wasn't making any progress, how stupid his training is as well. Just a whole lot of stupid going on here. Say what you want about the guy. He's a marketing genius. He's made a ton of money. He did do that, but I think he also misled quite a few young men who are naive and gullible and basically stole their money with his lies. And that's why I think it's kind of fucked up. It's not so much that I really care about his Liver King persona, whatever. I don't care that he took gear. Who cares? I knew he was on gear when I saw him. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he was taking steroids, but who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck about that. The part that I don't like is how he created a false persona to mislead people to take their money. That part is the fucked up part. And, the other part that's kind of messed up too is just this guy ain't very smart. He might be great at marketing, but the way he had everything set up just wasn't that intelligent. And I'm going to dig into all that in just 1 second. All right, so Liver King cycle. Let's talk about this really stupid cycle that he was on with peptides and a bunch of GH that he was evidently paying 10 grand a month. I assume it seemed like a TRT clinic or something like that. And how monumentally stupid everything is here. What he was on, he was taking IGF-1 LR3, I guess it was. He said he'd been taking that for a year. He was taking CJC, MK677. He was taking 10 units of Omnitrope HGH per day. He was also taking 6.6 cc's of testosterone cypionate per week, which most prescription grade test sip is dosed at 200 milligrams, so that means 120 milligrams of test sip per week. He was also taking 0.6 cc's of Deca, I assume from a TRT clinic, per week. That's what it seemed like from his email that he was getting this stuff prescribed. That is also 120 milligrams of Deca per week and 50 milligrams of Winstrol per day. This is just a dumb cycle. I don't even... Why? All right, so let me back up and we'll talk about a few things here first. So with the GH, he's taking a bunch of HGH secretagogues on top of the exogenous HGH. Why were you taking HGH secretagogues when you're already taking 10 units of HGH a day? That is completely unnecessary, and you're going to get absolutely zippy from it. One of the things that he noted in his correspondence is that he was frustrated and couldn't figure out why his IGF-1 levels were low. And the reason his IGF-1 levels were likely low is because he wasn't taking enough tests to convert enough estradiol to help with IGF-1 conversion. He's also taking Winstrol, which likely suppressed his estradiol levels. And I think he mentioned somewhere in the email that he sent that Derek had that his IGF-1 or his estradiol levels were very low. I don't know why they had the Deca in there, 0.6 cc's per week. That also makes zero sense to me. So more than likely what happened is this guy kept taking more and more HGH. That's what I'm speculating. Kept throwing the secretagogues at it, hoping that he would get his IGF-1 levels up. But the missing ingredient was the estradiol. He had his estradiol crushed. And so there will be no IGF-1 conversion as a result. I'll give you an example. For me, in the off season, I let my estradiol ride as high as I possibly can. I usually take somewhere around 750 milligrams of testosterone. And I usually run 6 units of cheap-ass generic Chinese HGH, blue top HGH, and my IGF-1 levels are somewhere in the mid to high 400s. I think they were 480 on my last blood work. And I am taking half as much GH as this guy, not any secretagogues, and I'm not taking any super expensive amitriptyline. I think that's what he was taking. HGH. So I'm spending like $170 a month on HGH, and he was spending $10,000. And my IGF-1 levels are 4 to 5 times that of what his were. So this is just a really, 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 really stupid cycle. Just stupid. Stupid. Clearly, whoever was advising him, clearly or him, somebody, I don't know, didn't know what the fuck they were doing. He should have been taking more tests. The guy was clearly frustrated that he kept throwing more and more HGH and secretagogues at it, HGH secretagogues, and was getting no additional increase in IGF-1. I think he eventually got it up into the 200s, which is what a natty typically would run. He might as well have been natty because he wasn't getting shit out of all the stuff he was running anyway. So I don't know. It's just really, 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 really dumb cycle. I literally could have probably put the guy on 500 cc or 500 milligrams of test a week and like 2 to 4 units of UGL test, and he would have had higher IGF-1 levels than what he did with this expensive ass cycle that he was probably running through some expensive ass TRT clinic. Just a bunch of bullshit. Anyway. I like none of it makes any fucking sense. All right, so let's take a look at this dumbass's diet. What we have here. I went through and put all of his diet into a macro calculator so we could break down exactly what he's eating and take a good look at it. I thought that would be fun to look at to see exactly how this guy's diet shakes out. So it looks like he gets up in the morning and he trains a Westside barbell style conjugate powerlifting program, and he does it fasted, which to me makes zero sense. I didn't know why you would go do an intense Westside barbell powerlifting workout fasted when you're in a completely depleted state. I know one of his gripes, at least from what I inferred from the emails that he sent, that it was his lack of hypertrophy, and eating fasted would probably do that. So he did get a good sized meal in post workout. And his first meal here, if you take a look at it, it is constituted of whey protein. It was about 48 grams of whey protein roughly. I just closely approximated it here. We got 46. He had 4 raw eggs. I don't know if they were cooked or raw. He just had 4 eggs on the diet. So almond butter. There was 30 grams of almond butter. There was dextrose, 60 grams of dextrose. Collagen, Greek yogurt, maple syrup. I believe it was 30 grams of maple syrup, something like that. sirloin steak, and ghee, which none of this really makes any fucking sense to me. I don't know why or how he came up with this combination of foods. The diet, this meal, when you look at it, is 1,627 total calories, 90 grams of fat, basically 89.5 grams of fat. There is 90 grams of carbs, which they're all simple carbs. It's all just sugar in here. And you have 121 grams of protein, which is an enormous amount of protein in that meal. You really don't need that much protein in that meal. And also, this whey protein, dextrose, maple syrup, Greek yogurt. I mean, I guess you could throw Greek yogurt in there. I don't know. None of this seems very primal, does it? So it's interesting because he's got 46. His largest protein source is whey protein, which is 46 grams of protein, and then his carbs come all from sugar. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, it all breaks down to glucose in your bloodstream. Anyway, I assume that he's trying to get a spike of simple sugars then after his workout. That's kind of the theory here, but I don't understand the ghee and the sirloin, the 2 ounces of sirloin specifically, or 2 ounces of red meat. I just put sirloin in there as the red meat. And the maple syrup, I guess that's for flavor. I don't know what he was flavoring with the maple syrup. Maybe he was putting it in his yogurt. I don't know. None of it really makes any sense to me. It's just a hodgepodge of foods that he seemed to make up. I don't know if he's making a shake. It's possible. That's what I would think. Maybe he's making a shake with the dextrose whey. Egg whites, collagen, maybe the Greek yogurt, maple syrup, and the ghee are all in a shake. That would be my guess, is that he's probably blending it in the nut butter, blending it all up into a big bomb of a shake, and then eating a little bit of beef to go with it. So that would be my guess, is that he's just making a fat shake. Probably tasted pretty good. So there's a lot of fat in there, so I'm assuming it went down smooth. So that would be my guess. That's what he's doing there. He's making a big old fucking shake and having a little bit of red meat with it. At least that's what I deduce from looking at this. That's how I'm guessing that would go down. Lunch is just a repeat of this meal, with the exception of adding some liver to it, and he was eating a little more maple syrup with this one. And he did a Olympic lifting routine in the midday. So morning fast, it was a powerlifting, and then Olympic lifting in the afternoon. This just goes to prove, guys, I tell people all the time, it's almost fucking impossible to overtrain. This guy's lifting twice a day. I mean, he looks pretty good, to be honest with you. His physique is pretty decent, assuming that it's not fake in some other way, which it might be, implants, or I don't know. His chest looks a little dubious to me. I don't know if he had chest implants or not. It looks like he might have. But the next meal is just a repeat of it. I'm guessing that once again he probably just ate a shake, his fat protein powder sugar shake. It probably tasted awesome. His maple syrup, protein powder, yogurt, whatever shake. And then the only thing that he changed here, he had some bone marrow. Maybe he mixed that up in the shake, I'm assuming. Maybe not. And then he ate some raw beef liver. 2 to 4 ounces, I think, is what he said on his thing. So really, the only thing solid in this meal, I'm assuming that he made a shake again, is just a little bit of meat. His dinner was pretty simple. It's just a sweet potato and ribeye steak. That's primal, okay. And then before bed, he had another little piece of beef. I just put another sirloin in there, and a whey shake. This guy's really just living off of shakes, people. That's funny that this dude is sitting there telling everybody how primal he is, and he's drinking 3 shakes a day, and he really only has one solid meal in here, and that is a ribeye and a sweet potato that he had. That's it. That's it. The rest of the day is just shakes, people. No fiber in here. 0 fiber. I don't see any fiber. No vegetables. No fruit. I don't know what he's doing for fiber. I didn't see that he's supplementing fiber anywhere. I didn't see that anywhere. So this is just a really stupid diet. I don't know of any other way to put it. The total macros for the day are 4,682 calories, 268 grams of fat, That is a huge amount of fat, and a lot of that's going to be saturated fat too. 224 grams of carbs, which are primarily from sugar, and 355 grams of protein. For a guy that's, I think they said he only weighed like 180 pounds, 170 pounds. He's not very tall, like 5'6", 5'7". You don't need that much protein. I mean, whatever. But so at the end of the day, this dude is drinking 3 shakes a day, barely eating any solid food, and then calling himself primal. It just makes no sense. And his diet is primarily fat. If you look at it from here, 51% of his calories are coming from fat. That is crazy. And the majority of it's probably saturated fat. I would like to see what this dude's arteries look like. But that is insane. I probably don't eat, well, I don't know. That's probably about 4 or 5 days worth of fat for me in my current diet construction. And this guy talked about wanting to have more growth, and he wasn't making any progress, and he was disappointed with his lack of progress. Well, this diet is fucking stupid. It's no wonder he didn't make any progress. Now, if you just want to eat, whatever, if this is what makes you happy, who gives a shit, really, at the end of the day. But the diet is just butt dumb. I'm trying to rationalize why the diet would be constructed this way, and I can't come up with any reason. So really, he was just drinking 3 shakes a day with a bunch of fat and a bunch of sugar in them and protein powder, and calling it a day and having really one solid meal. That was it. That's what his diet looked like. All right, so summing this all up, looking at his diet and cycle, what I can take from this is that your hero, the Liver King, is a fucking moron. I don't know of any other way to put it. People are all worried about him being a fake natty. Whatever. There's been fake natties around since the beginning of time. Anybody that's old like me remembers the old bodybuilding magazines where they were selling all these crazy supplements and everybody was a fake natty. Every pro bodybuilder denied taking steroids and shucked supplements and fake diet protocols and whatever. Back in the day, that's why none of this is shocking to me, because I'm used to people being fucking fakes. I grew up on a bunch of fakes that lied, and I don't take steroids. It's my diet and metrics that makes me big. Liver King's no different. Now, what is offensive here is that he lied and created a persona to fool a bunch of naive people, mostly young men. His target audience is young men, and he took advantage of a bunch of people to make a bunch of fucking money. And not only did he make a bunch of money, the stuff that he sold is just bogus bullshit. The guy doesn't even know what he's doing, has no fucking clue what he's doing. And he's just an idiot. And people took advice and gave their money to a moron. And that's the biggest offense here, is that a bunch of people, a bunch of naive people, got taken advantage of by a dipshit who took their money, wore a coonskin hat or whatever the fuck he was, and walked around like he's some tribal dude. And meanwhile, he's taking Winstrol, spending 10 grand a month on GH. You have to be a fucking idiot to do that. And he also had this fake persona that wasn't even real. Who cares if, whatever. I mean, but the guy's a moron, and people gave them their money. And that's the biggest offense here. I don't know what else to tell you, people. There's been people around this since the beginning of time. There will be another Liver King, I promise you. There will be someone else that steps forth from the ether and markets themselves and fools a bunch of dipshits into believing that they have the secret. Everybody wants a secret answer. Eating raw liver or buying his primal supplements is whatever the fuck he sells. I don't even know what he sells. I never paid any attention to him. Anybody that's serious in the bodybuilding community just laughed at this idiot anyway. None of us really ever took this dude seriously. It's just, gym bros that don't know any better. But this guy's a dipshit. You got your money taken from you if you gave any money to him. Stop giving your money to people like this. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Don't listen to these idiots. There are no shortcuts. There are no secrets. The secret is that getting big, having a nice physique, is just boring. It's eating meat and rice 6 times a day. Everybody gets upset when I say that. It's taking basic PEDs. It's training hard. And it's doing it for day after day month after month, year after year. That's really the secret. It's not that fucking complicated. It's just hard. Everybody wants a shortcut, and there are no shortcuts. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Appreciate you watching this. Thanks. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.